This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And we're here giving you the gaming news like we do every single week and other random stuff that we decide to talk about.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm doing new intros now.
You're doing new intros?
I forgot about that.
What?
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Kevin.
I'm Patrick.
I'm the Vita guy. This is the Renaissance controller, because he's got them all. We're here with the, well, you are the Renaissance man.
Yeah.
You know, you diversify.
That's true.
And that's what you do.
I have everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have everything, man. So we're here with the gaming news for this week. It's 1 week until E3, so news is kind of weird. Some of it's leaks, some of it's whatever. But we're here, we have it, and we're going to cover that.
Yeah.
And then for our topic this week, we're going to cover the E3 predictions. And that should be fun.
I think the topic this week should be the Nintendo.
Right.
Online.
The totes, the topic of the episode show. The discussion where we talk with you about predictions.
Will be
and
about
then you
predictions,
can talk.
yes.
Right.
The E3 is totes.
Right.
That's the viewer discussion stuff because we want your feedback on that. Nintendo, we're just
Year
going
and
to
a
tell
half,
you about.
we've got this covered.
Yes,
we've got it all figured out.
But Nintendo is going to be the main quest, and we're gonna tell you what we think about that, and you can deal with it.
Yeah.
But first, as we do every single week, we're going to talk about backwards compatible games because we don't have it.
We're not going to. Nope.
Usually we talk about that first, but
Maybe they're running out.
no.
I don't know how many games got released for it, but like they're up to like
1,200. It's
right.
No,
So
it's
they're up
more
to
than
like
that with shovelware. What are they up to? 700?
no, it's like 350 or something.
Close enough. But we did get the PlayStation Plus games.
We did,
So
and
we talk about those.
It's interesting. Some of them really have potential. The first one is Killing Floor 2, which is a first-person floor of killing, where you kill.
Which
I don't know.
I don't know a lot about it. I'm hopeful it's good. It looks like it could be good. It reminds me of Splatter, like a modern Splatterhouse. But
Yeah, I can see that.
We'll see how it is. We also got Life is Strange, which I've really been wanting to play, and everyone's been harping on me to play, and now I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So happy about that. Life is Strange sequel was announced recently as well that they're working on that.
Right.
So kind of nice tie-in for that. We also got Abyss Odyssey, which up until about 10 minutes ago, you and I were like, until we found out it was Atlas.
But it's Atlas, and I love Atlas.
It's Atlas. We'll play it. It's probably going to be good. Atlas, their quality of their games, the gameplay, gameplay itself.
Well,
Atlas
is a publisher, and so they have had some missteps, but generally speaking, they've got some quality stuff.
Yes,
they do really good imports.
And we also got Racing Game.
Yeah, we got Racing Game. This one
Racing Game.
It's WRC5 and Rally Champions.
There's definitely weather. That's important in racing games is weather. So we got that. We also have Neon Chrome, which I think is one of the two games that's going to be right up Kevin's alley. Whether or not it's good is a question. We'll answer for you later.
I like isometric. I like twin stick shooter, and I like numbers to pop up when I shoot things.
I like it because it makes me feel good about myself.
And procedurally generated, potentially roguelike. Yes, possibly, definitely that.
If the gameplay's tight enough, I think this is going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
And one that I definitely think is going to be up Kevin's alley is Spy Chameleon.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I love stealth stuff. I love goofy stuff, and yeah, because like some of that looks like. I mean, it's the same perspective, and some of even the same elements as the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I love that game. That game is wonderful.
Yeah.
And so. Just to see where they go with that, I don't really care about the story as long as like that's my type of puzzle. Yeah. I don't like it when I walk into a room and I'm like, there's a puzzle here and I can't move until I solve it. So I guess I'm done.
Yeah. At that point, you're like checking out.
But like a gameplay puzzle, like Super Meat Boy or something.
Yeah.
That's gameplay puzzle is how do you make your character do what you want him to do? And that's what this looks like.
Sure.
And if that's true, yeah.
Which is one thing that one reason I think you'll like Breath of the Wild, because I know you've seen the shrines in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're giving you a puzzle with a gameplay element that you already know, and it's just you using your gameplay elements, much like Portal and many other games, some recent games. Previous Zelda games, you'd show up into a room that has a puzzle, and it's the first time and maybe the only time that they've shown that concept.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like I said, Portal, where it's building concepts. You get a couple abilities and now play with them.
Yeah. They also did kind of something similar to that in Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like one-off puzzles. Like there's a part where you're like lighting candles to do shadows in a particular way, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's another one where you're like trapped in a cage and you have to shake it back and forth. And it's amazing to consider. It took somebody like several weeks to figure out how to do this thing that you do once. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. And there's ups and downs to either side on that.
So those are the games we'll be playing, and we will tell you if they're any good.
We also, but
we haven't.
What's up?
I don't think either one. No, I did Life is Strange. So I've played one of them.
Yeah. And we'll tell you what they're good. If they're good, what they're good. We'll tell you what they're good at the Gold Plus roundup later in June, later in this month.
On later in June. How about if you stop talking and I'll go to the next topic?
Sometimes I say words.
You do.
Yeah, but we got
frequently.
We got Monster Hunter coming up.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is coming to Switch. This is Generations Double Cross, something like that.
Yeah.
So Monster Hunter, this is a 3DS game. And
yes.
like okay, so it does look better on the Switch, which of course, I mean it needs to work better and look better on the Switch, but I am kind of disappointed that it's another port. I was really hoping, and maybe at E3 they'll announce like a full Monster Hunter game, but it's good to have Monster Hunter there, but it feels like they're just kind of throwing things.
Yeah, it definitely is. I apologize
just
for
as quickly as they can.
Apologize for my technical difficulties.
But it is coming to Switch, coming August 25th.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
This is the beginning in my opinion, this is going to be the beginning of the ports to the Switch. Which is one thing. The beginning of the ports to the Switch, because you thought they began already.
Mario Kart 8 wasn't.
You have no idea the amount of ports that are going to pop up on this thing, which is one of my spoilers. That's actually one of my E3 predictions. Is actually the amount. I'm really having trouble here. I apologize.
Okay, don't worry about it.
One of my predictions for E3, and I'm going to talk about it later on in the in Totes, is that. That's a huge push that you're going to see at E3 from Nintendo this year. Is, look, we got this game. Look, we got Donkey Kong Tropical Breeze. Look, we got this game, which are really good games.
Those are so good.
They're really good games.
They're so wonderful.
You know what? You liked New Super Mario Brothers Wii U? Well, guess what? It's on Switch. All these really good games. And that's going to be really confusing. It's going to be New Super Mario Brothers Collection or something.
Yeah.
So that's my quasi... The general prediction, which I'll talk about later.
Okay.
You're going to see a big push in the ports. Yes, we have Mario Kart, which, by the way, Mario Kart on Switch is amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a big push for this because Nintendo realizes we have all of these games. We have all of these games. I'll talk about it later, but that's the thing.
Yeah. And speaking of the previous generation, the PS3 has ended production in Japan. And
may it rest in peace.
I love that console. That was a wonderful console, and it managed to eventually get online right.
That's exactly what I was going to get at. For a console that had such a rough beginning, and Xbox One this generation has taken that mantle to say, you know what, we got to really hit the ground running on this. We'll get it eventually.
Well, and we could have an entire. We could have an hour-long discussion on why that happened, how that happened,
on Don Matrick and everything. Yeah.
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 Well, and I was also talking about the arrogance that Sony came into the PS3 with. It's like, get a second job. You buy a console, everybody buys a console. You want to fight about it?
Just like Xbox One. Oh, you don't have an internet connection? Get one or get a 360.
Yeah.
Like that's not the attitude to happen.
But when you anyway, that could be, and probably we'll record that at some point. But
PS3
ending production is a big deal. There are still markets for that, particularly with importing. It's easier to get the PS3 than the PS4. So the PS3 is still bigger in places like Brazil, where it costs like $1,500 to get a PS4, which is ridiculous.
The PS3 was a great console, and as much as I want to say about time that it ends production, there are so many great games on it. And unlike the Xbox One, it doesn't have this really nice, easy backwards compatibility. PS4, it's just like, okay, when we give you a remaster, buy the remaster.
Yeah.
And Xbox has really pushed that backwards compatibility, so that makes sense why they held on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not to be that guy, but it's like, okay, it's kind of dead now.
Yeah.
Grab one third party. I mean, grab one in the secondary market. Enjoy that console if you haven't played it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, move on.
Mm-hmm.
It is. We're 3 years into the next generation,
And it's
the current generation now.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it had all kinds of management problems at launch, just like the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And but it turned into a great console, and we had a lot of fun with it. But speaking of management problems, now we're going to talk about Square Enix. Okay, so Hitman succeeded when a lot of us didn't think it would. But the success to Square is something different than it is to most people.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, this is garbage, and it only sold whatever. So they're splitting with IO Interactive, and they're talking about how do we allow this franchise to continue.
Yeah.
And the answer is Hitman Go 2.
Yes.
Give us Hitman Go 2.
Hitman Go 2. Hitman Go was great. It's one that I was raving about, and you grabbed and agreed with. Hitman in that form, and we've seen it a lot recently with more games that are going to the board game and card game genre, that avenue. Hitman works really well with this. With
the other thing is is my kids can play this Hitman because you're just knocking
it over.
You're just knocking them over.
Look, you knocked it over.
It's fun.
You
it's
didn't
fun.
kill that dog.
Yeah.
No.
And that explosion just knocked those pieces over. It's fine.
Yeah,
but Hitman was the last Hitman proper was a really interesting experiment in episodic. Because Telltale does, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whenever they feel like releasing them. This was like, once you bought the game, you had all these options, and there were so many things. It was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to go check that out.
You had weekly challenges that would pop up. And it's like, hey, there's going to be this like celebrity. You want to kill Gary Busey? You can kill Gary Busey. And these things that pop up. It was interesting.
It was some really cool stuff, and so I'm disappointed in Square Enix that they're choosing to not push that, to see if that'll go somewhere, because it did sell well. I don't know how much it cost for them to develop it or whatever, but they made a thing that succeeded and was popular, and there were some people that were really, really super into it. And I don't know, I mean, this is kind of like the same thing that we have with what was it, Quantum Break?
Yeah.
It was a bold, innovative, daring venture.
Yes.
And I don't know if we'll ever get to see it again, and that's disappointing.
It's sad because video games are art, and when you have a game that doesn't have quite the right start to it, then the execs start to say, oh, this isn't, like you said, it's not a hit, or it's a hit,
but not enough.
Yeah. And I think that's really sad. That unfortunately we are controlled that way, and we have Kickstarter and other avenues that allow us to fund projects. But
Kickstarter has its limitations because video game development is expensive as heck.
Yeah.
And so, and this is one of the things that as primarily a consumer of games, I still have difficulty understanding, is that for Square Enix, a profit is not good enough. It has to be a great profit, or a fantastic profit, or it has to hit these margins. And so, because it became profitable.
Yes.
But it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
And I don't know why they can't just let IO Interactive just keep going.
The same thing happened with Tomb Raider, and I'm really happy that Tomb Raider got that sequel. But when the Tomb Raider reboot came out,
like only $4.5 million.
Not enough. They're $60 a pop. It's enough. It turned a profit, and and it was a really good game. A lot of times they also have to look at not only was it profitable to an extent, maybe not as profitable as they want, but was it a good product? Are people enjoying it? Because if you can tweak that and get it right, then you can do it better next time. Demon's Souls is a great example of that.
And that's an example. From Software is a great example of a company that has goodwill.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of people that didn't necessarily appreciate Dark Souls 2 as much as the first one. They were like, this is kind of iffy. But Bloodborne as an exclusive was like the first big seller on the PS4.
Yeah. And
because we trust From Software. And then Dark Souls 3 came out, and it keeps ramping up. And if you shut down a series for artistic reasons, I am 100% about that. Until you have another story to tell us, wait.
Yeah. Don't be like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Or any of those other shows that just keep going on. Isn't ER still on the air? I mean,
I have no idea.
I don't understand. Like, they're like, oh, we're in the 20th season.
Supernatural is what you were looking for.
Yes.
So
I just try to block Supernatural out of my mind.
Well, I'm friends with Nate and Cass, so that's going to be a part of my life.
I know. But speaking of things that could be profitable, could be really profitable.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes, Kingdom Hearts 3.
And Final Fantasy 7 remake?
Yes. And guess
okay,
what?
so all of those are being directed now by Nomura.
Yes.
They have taken back Final Fantasy VII remake from who was it? Some company that we've never heard of.
I can't even remember.
But somebody took it over, and so they said, okay, we're taking back Final Fantasy VII remake. The Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Final Fantasy VII remake could be here within the next 3 years.
Yes.
We did. Okay, so we actually have a guy on the inside at Square.
Yes.
And we actually got a picture of the executive meeting and the head of Square who's making these decisions to put Nomura in charge of everything.
Exactly.
So if you go ahead and throw that, there he is, Vincent Adultman.
Yeah.
You may know him from BoJack Horseman. Mm-hmm. For those of you listening to the audio, go look up Vincent Adultman, one word.
Yes.
That's the guy in charge of Squaresoft right now.
And now we know why all these poor choices are made.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if a cousin of his is working for Nintendo, because we're getting such poor choices that the entire, it's not just the Americans don't like. No, it's the entire freaking world is looking at you going, what are you doing?
Like,
do you not want money?
The Sensen Densetsu collection. That's already been translated, and the fans have reached out to Nintendo and said, use our translation. Please bring Seiken Densetsu 1 and 3 over to America. 3 has never been over here officially. That collection is like $50. It's 3 amazing games, and on the Switch, you can play a 3-person isometric, 3-person simultaneously isometric, arcadey, fun, running around throwing spells and stuff. That game is awesome. The music is wonderful. The story is phenomenal.
But Kevin, it's not going to make a massive amount of profit. It's not going to make like
at $50 for a 20-year-old game. It's going to make people very happy. And again, going back to the goodwill. And Square, you need goodwill.
$50 for a 20-year-old game. That sounds like Street Fighter
3.
to me. Oh, I thought
you get all 3 of the RPGs.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because 50. I didn't think about the 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and including one that has never been available here. Seiken Densetsu 2 is Secret of Mana.
Yeah,
which was over here, that one did get released.
Here's an idea. Here's an idea, marketing folks. How about you give them each for $15 or all 3 for $40?
There you go.
Because there are people who maybe they want to buy one of them, but you buy the 3-pack at $40. You'll have more people who go, I liked the second one. Mm-hmm. I'll just grab the second one. Maybe they'll get the third one.
I would buy the third one for sure.
Yeah.
Just because I want to play it.
Yeah.
And then I would buy the second one just to show people how wonderful it is, and have three people running around and slashing stuff with swords.
There needs to be more
fun.
Collections a la carte like that, because like the Metal Gear Solid collection and others that came out. If you give the retail version 50, 45, whatever it is. Give me a digital way to grab just one of those. Because if you do that, you're going to have people who just throw $10, $15 at you. It's the whole Steam model,
money.
Right? It's the whole Steam model.
Yeah.
Oh, you want eight or 10 games. Yeah, you want 8 or 10, 15 games for $15? Yes, I do. I'm going to throw that.
Of course I do.
Maybe I want 1 or 2 out of that, and I'll go buy them a la carte. If you give me that option, I'm going to do it. Give me the collection. Depending on the game, I'll grab it. God of War, obviously, I've bought God of War 1, I think 4 times now, because it was on PlayStation 1. Obviously, there's the remaster. It was on Vita. Then there's the 2. Yeah, but the there's a lot over and over and over again.
Yeah, I've bought. Okay,
I've also bought the collection.
I bought Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
On the Super Nintendo. I've had. Also, they released a new translation. I think that might be what I'm playing for my November run.
Okay.
There's a new translation, and I'm coming up on the end of that. Okay, so for those of you who haven't heard about this, in November for the is it Extra Life, or is it?
It's like Extra Life, I believe.
I think it's Extra Life. In November, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour Final Fantasy VI run. I'm going to beat the game in its entirety in a single sitting. And I'm going to have guests who have played the game, who love the game.
Are you going to do that on Sunday? Because I imagine you're going to be friggin' zapped on Saturdays.
I think I'll probably take the day off, just because it'll work better. Because it is a 24-hour...
Oh, to do it like on a Monday or Tuesday?
No, it's a Saturday.
Oh, on a Saturday.
So I'll just take the second half of the week off.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then come in and start that way.
I'm already thinking logistics. Are you going to be okay, honey? Are you going to get your food?
Yeah, you're gonna bring it to me.
Yeah, I am.
So we're gonna be doing that, and I'm finishing up the run. Mm-hmm. I think I'll be able to do almost all of the extra content. Mm-hmm. And I'm just about to start the final boss fight.
Yeah.
And I'm at 22 hours and 40 minutes or something. So it's gonna be pretty close to a solid 24-hour stream.
I also feel
I'm excited.
I also feel like if you're going 24 hours and you're pushing through it, you know the game very well. I think you'll probably beat the game in under that, because as opposed to right now, every time you jump in, you kind of get acclimated. There's a little bit of no. That's how I usually am.
Okay, with an action game, maybe turn-based.
Well, I meant acclimated as like, all right, what am I doing next? Okay, I'll do this.
Not after you've beaten the game 13 times.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on from that. We have a new Overwatch Assault map coming out, and it's going to be okay. So Winston was originally on the moon, and he was experimented on and stuff. There's another monkey somewhere. I don't remember the monkey's name, but there's another monkey up there, and Winston's talking about how, oh yeah, it was wonderful, and there were experiments, and it was fine, but then the monkeys got tired of being experimented on, like you do. I also like in this, when it's showing the before and after of the carnage, like before you see this little Roomba running around cleaning up, and then in the aftermath you see this little sparking Roomba sitting on the floor. It's pretty great.
I like it.
But yeah, I like new maps. Mm-hmm. I like objective-based maps.
Yeah.
And this one says that both teams will be going after their own individual. Like, instead of having like one attack, one defense, it'll be like both teams will have their own objectives. So you're trying to kind of do multiple things at the same time, and it sounds wonderful. And I'm looking forward to that.
I like the objective stuff better as well, because I feel like it's more enjoyable.
Hammond, that's the other one.
Hammond, okay. I was say I feel like the objective stuff is more enjoyable for people not only who are more casual, but also people who. People who may not be quite as talented, but I think that it really helps to have more objective stuff like that, and I think that's why you like it as well. Like, you don't have
definitely.
to spend a lot of time honing in on a specific.
Well, it's not just about the shooting and the team comp. Like there's sneaky things you can do, and I like sneaking.
I like that. You know what else I like?
What?
Pyre.
You don't know that?
I want to like it.
You're guessing.
I'm guessing that I like it. Look how pretty.
It is super pretty. So this is from Supermassive Games, who did Bastion and Transistor. I liked Bastion much more than Transistor, but I did appreciate the aesthetic, the art, the music, all this stuff, and the stories. The stories are consistently wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Launching July 25th.
July 25th, which is not that far away, and I think this is going to be another one that I'll get to play with my girls.
Yeah.
And their games are really good, and they're not like one sitting short, but they're not like these long 30, 40, 50 hour epics. So I think it'll probably be between 4 to 10 hours, and I mean, we beat Child of Light because that story is just phenomenal.
It is.
And if this is something that can engage them on that level, I think this could be another one that I can play with them.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
I think it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I love the art style though. What I really believe in my heart of hearts is going to be good. Is Shadow of War.
Yes.
And
it absolutely will be, and I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it so hard.
I am too. So it's going to be delayed, unfortunately. Which, like I said, unfortunately, but I'm okay with that. Anytime we have these types of delays,
I can't wait.
I know the Nemesis system's so good, but I always view these delays, just kind of. It's hard. If you need to take more time to get it done right, do it. I'd rather have. I think actually Miyamoto said something to the effect of either you rush to complete a game and it's never good, or you do it right.
That's not even close.
It's I know, something like that.
Okay, so the Miyamoto quote you're searching for is
completely butchering.
Is a delayed game is bad news.
Yes, that's what
a bad game is bad forever, which isn't really the case anymore. But that's my only concern is that this is the August date was perfect for this game.
Yes.
It was a well-loved game, and it would have been coming out in a window that there's not a whole lot else there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the Arkham Knight. It was just a great time to release because it wasn't competing with anything.
Yeah.
And Shadow of War, the people who love it, and others presumably because other people love them.
There are lots. I mean,
it's Assassin's Creed plus
and Lord of the Rings,
stabbing and
fantasy.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I am a little bit concerned about it getting pushed into a really crowded fall because fall is going to have like some of the biggest sequels ever. Like we're going to be getting Battlefront 2, we're going to be getting Destiny 2, we're going to be getting like all these other things that are coming out. I'm not. Actually, I am interested in Battlefront 2. But anyway, October is going to impact its sales negatively.
Yeah.
But it will be a positive for the game. I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to play it. And this is still my most anticipated game of this year.
Yeah. Do you think you can buy it in Uzbekistan? Because a lot of games are getting banned there.
Yeah. This is just something that I saw. Uzbekistan banned 34 games for. I'm not worried about butchering the quote because, frankly, Uzbekistan is like that's just terrible. They said that they banned games for distorting values and threatening the stability of the country.
Yep.
No, I looked at none of them are about Uzbekistan. You're not that important. Just let people play games.
Jeez, I don't.
I mean, Australia is better, but it's still kind of like refusing to. Just let people play games.
They're going to play them.
And that's why region free is so important.
Yes.
And that's why we're really glad that happens.
People are going to play these games one way or another. If anything, you banning these will encourage piracy. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
They don't. I don't think they fully understand that. It's like the whole like Orange is the New Black. Oh well, we're leaking all these episodes. Okay, people are going to pirate those no matter what. You want to lock away 3 episodes at the end? Guess what? Once they come out on Netflix, we're just going to pirate them anyways. I mean, not we, but anybody who did.
I still don't understand why anybody doesn't have Netflix.
Everyone has Netflix.
Everyone has Netflix, except possibly people in Uzbekistan. If you're in Uzbekistan and you don't have Netflix, I don't know. I'll give you a code. So if you can prove you're living in Uzbekistan and you don't have Netflix, I'll let you use my password.
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Another thing that has nothing to do with that, there was a game that came out about almost a year ago.
It was
that like
way
everyone
more than
was
a year
playing.
ago.
Everyone was playing this game,
Yeah.
the Pokemon's Go's, and the whole Pokemon Go craze. It was a thing, and I'm not belittling people who still play it, but I feel really bad because
that was less than a year ago. That was July.
It was less than a year
6th.
ago. Yeah.
Holy cow!
So Pokemon Go was a huge thing, and
people were outside and walking around, and that's why I quit.
And I didn't mind that, but the problem was that
there's not a game there.
There's not a game there.
They're putting a game in there.
Now we're adding
later.
Yes, almost a year later.
And
they're adding trainer battles, so I can actually battle you with the Pokemon that I captured.
I mean, if you pick up my phone and I give you the password or something, because I'm not installing it.
Okay, I can battle people now who have been playing Pokemon and have been collecting and leveling up their Pokemon. Now you have something you can do with them other than a gym.
Yeah, and
there's something
too little, too late, probably. But for people who are still playing it, still interested, or want to be interested, because there were a lot of people who wanted to keep doing the thing, but then you kind of ran out of things to do.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be a thing.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe this will help them, but I don't know. I'm curious how their sales numbers went, because we heard all these strong sales numbers at first. Now we don't hear anything.
Yeah. Speaking of things that we hope will be good and that I have a lot more faith in than Pokemon's.
Oh yeah.
So Sonic Mania is coming out August 15th, and it's only going to be $20.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's a 2D with the running, and like the development cost of this is not that great, and like this is something that can absolutely be profitable and successful.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to it because like my girls really loved Sonic 2.
Yeah.
But that's only on the PS3, and I hate turning on the PS3. I do it for you guys for the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
But I don't like turning on my PS3 because it's so
slow. We get so used to technology being at a certain speed. It's like booting up an old laptop. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Or even if you use two computers, if one of them is like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if if you need to move something from your old phone to your new phone, especially if it's been more than a couple of weeks, you're like, this phone.
Yeah, and it was always that slow. But now you have to wait. Now you have to boot it up
and not only that, but you have a direct comparison, and you've grown acclimated to the new speed.
Yeah.
So and
speaking of speed, I have a need.
A need for Speed.
Yeah, we're not talking about Top Gun here. We're talking about Need for Speed that was supposed to be playing right there. And I'm having a lot of trouble here, so I apologize.
So Need for Speed Payback is coming out November 10th. It's gonna be a game that's less online.
Yeah.
Like the last Need for Speed worked, but there was a lot of, like, I would be driving around in my regular game, and it would be like, hey, Bong Hitter 420 is chasing you. I'm like,
okay.
I just wanted to drive. Can I not just drive?
That's what Grand Theft Auto's for. Pop on the tunes and drive.
Yeah, but Need for Speed is way faster, and like I like the GTA is really great to run around and explore in. Mm-hmm. Need for Speed is the Sonic of racing games.
Oh yeah,
it's got to go fast.
Got to go fast, and it's ridiculous.
And like all of the streets, except for Burnout Paradise, are laid out like tracks. Like there's sections of Burnout Paradise that are, but like there's way too many like just four-way intersections where you just get wrecked and there's nothing you can do about it, and that's not okay.
Yeah. But when you play GTA, you get this feeling like I'm driving through what would be traffic.
Yeah.
And you do the things that inside you like I really want to do while I'm driving.
Well, and that's the thing, because I learned how to drive from video games, and so whenever I'm driving, I see my racing line in between all these other cars, and so like. Yeah,
I did the same thing. Except I checked my like actually check my mirrors when I drive in my.
Well, yeah, because cars come up behind you like with lights and blue and red.
Yeah, those things.
Anyway,
but yeah, Need for Speed. Happy about that. I think it's going to be good. Let us know in the comments if you like Need for Speed and what you prefer in the games that you got.
Speaking of Need for Speed and Criterion, who now runs Need for Speed, the Burnout developers, Three Fields Entertainment, came out with their Danger Zone last week.
Oh, they did?
It's fun. Oh, okay. It's so fun. It's only $14.
That's not bad.
So go check that out. Go buy it. Hopefully it'll come to Xbox. Right now it's just PlayStation, because PlayStation loves them.
Yes.
We get really excited and we're like, yay, give us the game, and they're like, yeah, we'll. I mean, Dangerous Golf eventually made it over, so I know it's part of the plan.
Bring it to Switch.
And then in other news that I'm interested in, Ed McMillan is working on the cinematography stuff and the trailers and the cutscenes.
Yeah,
I think that secret game is coming soon, and like he keeps talking about these last little bits and certification, and I think it'll come within the next month or two.
Okay,
and I will
August.
I will buy it, and I will see if it'll run on this poor little MacBook. Or maybe I'll just come and play it at your house. I don't know, but I'm gonna get it. And then if it comes to console, then I will actually buy it and play it there.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we got for the news for this week.
Bring it to console. Let us know in the comments what console you're playing right now, and if you're watching this on a console, because that's fun.
Yeah,
See
you
you
can do
later.
that.